during your tenure?
Yes, listen, I was not renewed for my third year, 3 days after winning an Emmy. So let me just put this out there as a word of caution. And I don't think there's anybody at Fox who would say that I was let go for any reason that had anything at all to do with my performance. I now know in hindsight what was happening. Sometimes when you're in the big leagues, especially if you're in New York and you're at the O&O, and Roger Ailes was literally managing that station. He personally hired me. I sat across from him in his office for an hour. He offered me the job right there. But you also fly a little too close to the sun and you can get your wings burned.
What was interesting in my research as I was preparing for today's show was this is not new. Karl Rove actually used a lot of this targeting capability back in 2004, which I found to be rather interesting to know that it's been happening for a very, very long time. This isn't a new development. So now, before we go, Allison, you had seen my dad jokes with Ron Corning, and you said that you had a couple of CPA jokes. Let's end on a light note. Share some of those.
I was going to say, I wish that you had Ron and the other host who could determine if it needed to be, a bell or a
or a boo. Yeah.
Or a boo. Yeah, exactly. So why did the CPA cross the road?
Why did the CPA cross the road?
To bore people on the other side.
All right. How did you start getting involved in the nonprofit world?
It's a funny question. I didn't actually plan for it. So let me take you all the way back to college. So I went to University of North Texas here locally. Go Eagles. That is one of the most unfortunate college university hand signs and calls, actually. It almost sounds like my Cher impression. Hello.
And then just a few years ago, I guess I expanded it to what it's called now. It's called phoning it in. And I shoot everything entirely on my iPhone, and including not only daily news features and stories, but also complete half-hour episodes.
And let me stop you right there for our audience to just let that marinate. He shoots everything on his iPhone.
Well, I tell you what, first of all, you're going to get me crying now. And this makeup is on thick, honey. And I'm going to have a whole stream of tears running down my face. You don't even need to say thank you. That's the type of love, not only as a friend, that I like to give to folks like you and Adam, but I'll tell you what, that's what Black Tie Dinner is all about.
I love that. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Mike as we were wrapping up. What advice can you give local businesses that are trying to tell their story from your perspective?
Well, I think you should share your passion for your business because it's contagious. And also, don't underestimate the importance of your local patrons. You might think that a broader audience is necessary, but there's something to be said, again, especially during these times, for local businesses and staying that way and honing in on them. And I think, as Mike said, when you think about data, et cetera, videos are important. Social media is important. Don't underestimate local news or podcasts.
I will tell you, first of all, you're as passionate about what you do as I am about working in television. And you are an absolute mad scientist when it comes to this stuff. Now, Ziggy, our producer, Ziggy, did you play, were you in a band in junior high or high school?
I played the saxophone in junior high.
Gosh. The saxophone. Well, you know what they say about sax? Bad sax is better than no sax at all.
Oh, goodness. It's time for me to go. Are we done?
But I learned so much from improv because it taught me two things. That is to listen and then respond. What we call yes and.
Yes.
It's someone says something, you agree with it, and then you add something to it. And it's revolutionized the way I look at relationships, the way I look at my business relationships, and I think it's been the secret sauce of my success. Before we go, I want to give a big shout out to Amy Anderson. She is my general sales manager at KXAN, the NBC affiliate in Austin, and she made this amazing, if you could see that, marketing detective logoed mask. So a big shout out to Amy and her team for making that for us. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope we've solved some mysteries for you today. We'll be back again in 2 weeks with our next episode. Until next time, America, I'm Mitch West.